Welcome to the AFN Sports Arena with Jantzee and Tory. I'm Jantzee, joined in the AFN Okinawa studio by Air Force Staff Sergeant Tory Kuzumano.
Hey!
How you doing
no
today?
Sound effects this week.
No, we're going
just
minimal.
Me.
We're
it's
going
just
minimal
me.
today.
That's right. Bare bones.
That is just fine. We're on a time crunch, as most people are around the holidays.
Thanksgiving!
Yes, you excited for tomorrow?
I'm so excited. I'm going to eat all of the turkey. Unfortunately, not going to watch all the football, but
I
the next day I'll
know,
watch all of the football.
I'll tell you about what I do.
Okay.
So I'm actually really excited too. Thanksgiving is my husband's favorite holiday by far, so we take it very seriously. However, it doesn't feel quite right here on Okinawa, as a lot of things don't.
Right.
Because on actual Thanksgiving, as you said, there's no football on TV. To me and my family, turkey and pigskin just go together. So the first year we were here, it was a little hard to adjust, and it was like hot outside. It was just really weird.
Yeah.
But we kind of have it figured out now. We just have Thanksgiving leftovers the next day while watching the games.
There you go. That's a great way to do it.
You do what you have to do, right?
I think that Thanksgiving should last multiple days.
Me too. It's Thanksgiving
honestly.
weekend.
That's right. You eat all the food. Turkey sandwiches the next day, or if it's just, like you said, straight up reheated leftovers.
Yeah. We're actually...
mashed potatoes and gravy.
That's your favorite?
Stuffing and all the stuff.
My favorite is the candied yams. My mom
Yeah,
has the best recipe.
I'm a fan, but it's definitely coming in at like a 4th or 5th
place.
place.
Okay. Yeah, so even though this year we're going over to somebody's house for actual Thanksgiving, we still have to cook our own meal.
What?
So we have leftovers for the next day.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, you gotta.
Plus, you
take
need
care.
practice. You know.
Oh yeah, I gotta keep my skills strong.
About practice, man.
The game I love, the holiday I love. Okay, well, we're actually going to be counting down some of the top NFL Thanksgiving Day games later in the show.
Woo, get hype.
Yeah, but first we have to talk about a certain Oklahoma quarterback who behaved very badly this weekend.
Yes, he did.
Yeah, that's right. Baker Mayfield, who is definitely the front runner for the Heisman Trophy, by all accounts, lost his cool as the Sooners pounded the Kansas Jayhawks 41-3. It all started when the Kansas captains refused to shake Mayfield's hand at the coin toss. Not classy at all.
Not classy.
And Mayfield's reaction was classic. He looked like he was laughing and just clapped his hands and like bobbed his head. And I think everybody who's watched Mayfield throughout the season kind of went like, oh no, here we go.
Boy.
Here we go.
They done instigated him.
Yeah, not smart. The rest of the game was extremely chippy, including a super late hit. It was a really bad cheap shot on Mayfield, which Kansas drew a penalty for, but it just went downhill from there. Between Mayfield yelling at their fans, stick to cheering for basketball, your team sucks.
Okay, I mean, not the
Fair,
smartest,
but fair.
Not the smartest to talk smack to the fans,
No.
but I agree.
Yeah.
There was nothing X-rated or F-rated about this.
That was okay.
I mean, that's a pretty good
they were
shot.
yelling at him.
If you're gonna talk trash, that's not bad.
It was good, if you have quality material. But it, degraded from there. It was now the infamous clip that will surely be repeated through the draft. Mayfield walking up the sideline, screaming profanities and grabbing himself, which ESPN blurred out, making it even more dramatic.
Right. It's like, look right here.
Yeah.
We don't want you to see this, but make sure you look right
He's
here.
doing something
and you know
bad.
exactly what's going on behind the blur.
And he clearly yelled.
Never been a fan of the blurring.
Me either. Give it to us. Give it to us straight.
Right.
But he was clearly yelling, F you.
Ooh.
Yikes. All the cameras are right on him.
I tell you, leading candidate for the Heisman and leading member of my punk list this
really?
week, Jantzee. Maybe not leading member, but he's on there. I love dudes that are passionate.
Yeah.
I love dudes that aren't afraid to mix it up and talk trash a little bit. But that's just terrible.
Yeah.
You know that all the cameras are on you.
And I mean,
you
he's
know
a
where
senior.
you are.
He has a history
Right.
of this.
Like, if you just want to yell back and forth and chirp a little bit, okay, but the grabbing the crotch thing,
It just went too
leave
far.
that at home, bro. That's what are you doing to yourself? That's
Yeah.
not good for you. It's not good for college football. It's not good for the fans.
Or your stock for the draft.
Exactly.
But the punishment came down, and all that's going to happen is he isn't starting and won't be a team captain for OU's last home game in senior night against West Virginia this week. Now, call me crazy, but that's really not a huge deal. He'll still play. He's just not starting. But by his and both Coach Riley's emotional reactions, there were tears. You'd think he had been suspended. What do you think? Fair punishment?
I don't think so at all.
No?
That's a slap on the wrist. It's a dog and pony show out there.
Yeah.
Look, we did something.
Yeah.
We're not gonna start him. Maybe he doesn't play the first series. Maybe he doesn't play the first play.
Yeah.
And they bring him in after that. So it's essentially hurting the team little to none.
Yeah.
And it's just something to say, hey, look, we took some disciplinary action.
We got mad at him.
Baker Mayfield. It sounds like a company you would buy shepherd's pie from, like frozen shepherd's pie. You know what I mean?
In the frozen food
Doesn't
section. It does. That's
Baker
a good one.
Mayfield. Get
But
outta
the
here.
big question is how this will affect his Heisman chances and beyond that, his draft stock. He's about to be the first walk-on in history to win the Heisman, and there's really no way around that. The closest competition is Bryce Love, the Stanford running back. Exactly.
Yeah.
But I think it would be a huge injustice to college football if he were to win. If Cam Newton, Johnny Manziel, and Jameis Winston can all win the award despite their issues and serious allegations, Mayfield can still win despite being too emotional and having outbursts.
I'm in agreement. Yeah,
Okay.
you steal crab legs and win, then you can make one obscene gesture and win. Although he's got
had
a
a
history.
few.
The Ohio State thing was also pretty disrespectful.
With the flag and everything, yeah. But it's hard to take emotion out of the game. It's just part of it. And he, like I said, he is a walk-on. He has fought to where he is, and he's a senior, and he's put in his time, and he's by far the best player in college football right now. He averages 346.9 yards a game. He's thrown for almost 4,000 yards this season, and his completion percentage is higher than 70. He's got the award.
That's not bad.
Yeah.
Those are okay stats.
Those are pretty good. But I digress. Oklahoma will more than likely be playing in the college football playoff, and this won't have any effect on the big picture. But
We'll see.
Something to keep an eye on.
Most
for
definitely.
Sure.
Looking at those list of other three quarterbacks, Cam Newton, Jameis Winston, they're finding success in the NFL.
Yeah.
Old Johnny Football.
Went to
Let's just
abyss.
say he has not found the success in the NFL
Where is
that
he?
the other two
Even,
have.
what is he even doing?
I don't know.
probably
He was trying to
rehab.
play Canadian football or
poor
I
guy.
don't know, Arena League or some crap like that. Anywho, I hope the best for Baker Mayfield. I don't wish failure upon him, but he's going to have to grow up a little bit.
I personally like him. I like his style of play, but
Yeah.
we'll see. And as long as we're on college football, wow, do we have a stacked weekend of rivalry games lined up. Yeah, Week 13 features the Iron Bowl.
Iron Bowl.
It's a good one this year between Alabama and Auburn.
War Eagle. Let's
Yes.
go. War Eagle.
Roll Tide.
No. Boo.
My family,
I know,
my
I know.
grandpa loves, he calls him Lou Saban instead of Nick Saban. He's always called him that. We don't know why.
Lou Saban's the old dude,
I know.
right? With the
I
lisp.
know.
I
I
love
know.
that dude too, though.
know.
I like Nick Saban. I just
Yeah.
hate Alabama because
Yeah.
they're so good all the time.
I know. Which this game this year has huge implications. As you can remember, Auburn knocked off former number 1 team Georgia a couple weeks ago.
Not just knocked off, but humiliated. He
Yes.
Baker Mayfield them,
Yes.
or they Baker Mayfield them.
Whichever the,
Yeah.
you know,
Words are
analogy
hard,
goes.
Jantzee.
Yeah, we try. Not to mention, this is one of the biggest rivalries in sports. I mean, just last week, an Alabama and Auburn fan got into a fight that included gunshots and put one person in the hospital.
Yikes, that's not okay. It's just sports, folks.
Yeah,
I know
this
we're
is
passionate
serious.
about it,
This
but
is
that does go to show
365
you.
days a year.
Yeah, absolutely.
This game kicks off at 5:30 a.m. Sunday on AFN Sports. I don't know if I'll be up that early. I
Hey,
might be watching the rebroadcast.
I'm a morning person, Jantzee.
I know you are. On
Let's
Sundays?
go.
Okay, more power
My
to
body
you.
is conditioned now. I
You-
just wake up
you
that
can keep me
time
updated.
at all of the times.
Okay. In addition, we have what they call the game, which is Ohio State versus Michigan State, the Egg Bowl between Ole Miss and Mississippi State, and the Apple Cup between Washington State and Washington. And then even though this matchup doesn't have a catchy name and either team is particularly good this season, Florida State at Florida is always a good game to watch.
The Orange Bowl? Wait, there's already a
No,
name for that.
yeah.
The Panhandle Palooza.
Okay, you can name
We'll come
that.
up with
Okay,
something,
you can submit
Jantzee,
that.
all right?
Okay, sounds good. We'll make it stick. Make sure you check out myafn.net to get your full broadcast schedule.
Jantzee, I also want to mention that Navy MWR holds a college football frenzy at the Crow's Nest Club on Camp
There you
Shields
go.
every Sunday morning. You get to watch a lot of really cool college football games. You get a chance to win prizes as well. So if you're a college football
Awesome.
fan, that's the place to be on Sunday mornings.
I didn't even know about that, so that is good to know.
Navy MWR Okinawa on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.
There you
to
go.
check them out.
Plug away. But before any of these games will air, the traditional NFL Thanksgiving Day games will have come and
Woo!
gone.
Gobble, gobble.
Yes.
Give me that turducken, son. Let's go.
And in honor of these time-honored classics, let's count down the top 5 games/moments in history.
Yeah, buddy.
Okay, now my number 5 wasn't a great game. It was actually a pretty ugly game, but the 2012 matchup between the Patriots and the Jets will always make my list because of the infamous butt fumble.
The butt fumble, perhaps the worst gaffe in sports history.
It's up there. It's up there. A lot of these happen on Thanksgiving. I have a few others.
It's not the biggest one. The biggest one is Bill Buckner in the 1986 World Series, letting the ball get between his legs. But it is by far the most embarrassing one.
It is. It is. That's right. We've reached the 5th anniversary of probably the worst/funniest play in NFL history. So it deserves a spot on my list. It's my list. I'll do what I want.
I could watch that play on repeat forever.
I watched it about 5 times this morning.
School child.
You just think, how did that happen? How did he not see him?
It's just so funny.
He had a hole.
Everything about that play is funny. It's like outside forces propelled him fast because it's like he hit him so hard. It's like he's not even running that fast, but he crushed.
It was
oh my God.
It was so
Poor
bad.
Mark Sanchez. Okay,
number 4 on my list is the 2013 matchup between the Baltimore Ravens and Pittsburgh Steelers, which went down to the wire. The Steelers failed on a 2-point conversion attempt that would have tied the game and sent it into overtime. The Ravens won 22-20. But what's most memorable about this game is Steelers coach Mike Tomlin maybe trying to trip Ravens returner Jacoby Jones as he ran past him on the sideline. Do you remember this one?
Yes, I remember very well. They looked at the replay 1,000 times from 1,000 different angles. I almost said ankles. That's what he was trying to do to Jacoby Jones. Yeah. I just remember Mike Tomlin's huge eyes.
Yes. His face gave it away.
As he backs up, he has that look of guilt because he normally looks so intense, you know what I mean? And he still looked intense in the moment afterwards, but his eyes just got huge, even more huge than they already are.
It was a giveaway.
And I was like, oh.
He knew
Mike Tomlin is not on my punk list. I love Mike Tomlin.
Yeah, he's a good coach.
I don't agree with tripping opposing players, but that was hilarious.
I think it was a little instinct.
Right,
he was there. It was coming. Oops.
Getting his Grayson Allen on.
But it was a good game nonetheless. And number 3 would have to be the 1998 game between the Detroit Lions, who play every year on Thanksgiving, and Pittsburgh Steelers. This is the game that went into overtime, and Jerome Bettis called tails in the air for the coin toss. But the referee, Phil Luckett, announced the call is heads. Chaos broke out, but Detroit ended up getting the ball and scoring on the first possession, winning 19-16. And then this game forever changed the rule on the coin toss. Now you have to call it before it's in the air. Kind of lame.
Jerome Bettis, the bus. He has many career highlights.
Yeah.
I don't think this was his fault. I was going to say, but this wasn't one of them. But it was just the referee. There's like people chirping and talking, and the referee's just like, oh, no, you called heads,
and
bro.
And he said that he called tail heads.
Called...
And there's a little video evidence.
What you talking about,
saying
Willis?
That maybe.
I don't know.
But from Bettis' reaction, you could tell he knew he called tails. So it came
much
down,
rides on the coin toss, Jantzee.
So much. Okay. Now, on all the lists I came across, the top 2 are pretty much unanimous. So let's get into it. Number 2 involves one of the biggest gaffes in NFL history. The butt fumble's up there, but I said this one is even bigger. I'm talking about the 1993 matchup between the Dallas Cowboys and Miami Dolphins.
Oh, no.
Also known as the Leon Let
Let it go, Leon.
This is just painful to watch.
Oh, my God.
The Cowboys had this. They were leading 14-3 in the closing seconds on a snowy field. Jimmy Jones blocked a field goal attempt that should have sealed the victory. Everybody was, celebrating. You see Jerry Jones on the side, hands in the air. But Dallas's Leon Lett ran in and touched the ball before the whistle was blown, giving Miami a second, much closer field goal attempt from the 19-yard line, which of course was made. Miami won 16-14.
Yikes.
That ruined a lot of Cowboys fans' Thanksgiving.
Yeah, I think there was a lot of turkeys that came out that Thanksgiving. Made a lot of Cowboys fans sick.
Yeah, it was. That's a painful one. Just let it go. What were you thinking?
And of course, poor Leon Lett, he wasn't finished, was he?
No.
He made other gaffes as well in his career.
Poor
but
Leon.
We love him. We remember him forever.
Yes, but most notably for that.
Let it go, Leon.
And finally, the undisputed number 1 Thanksgiving game is the 1974 matchup between the Dallas Cowboys and Washington Redskins. Clint Longley, an untested rookie who ended up only starting 2 games in his career, threw a total of 68 passes and was out of the NFL by age 25. Was forced into the game once Roger Staubach was taken out by concussion, likely the result of a bounty placed on him.
That's why we have rules.
Yes. Like I said, this is back in 1974. And Longley shocked the Redskins with an amazing comeback that culminated in a 50-yard touchdown pass to Drew Pearson with less than 30 seconds left. Dallas won 24-23.
Exciting.
Yes, Redskin fans still say that this is the worst loss in franchise history.
Those hurt.
They're
Those
still
hurt.
bitter.
Big moment. You're there with your family. Everything's
Yeah.
going well. You think your team's going to win. And just the emotional high to low.
Yes.
That's one of the biggest
hurts.
high to lows that you're ever going to have.
By a rookie.
Right.
A not very good rookie.
Apparently, no. That's probably the best. He's a legend, though.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
He became
best game he ever played in
kind
his
of a
life.
one-hit wonder. So, do any of the games lined up for this year stand a chance at cracking the future list? Probably not. But still worth watching just in case something butt fumble-esque happens.
That's what I'm talking about.
You
Butt
never
fumble
know.
to electric boogaloo. Let's go.
You never know. First up, we have the Minnesota Vikings at Detroit Lions.
Hey, it's a big game.
Yeah, it is. It is. Next is the LA Chargers at Dallas Cowboys.
Chargers playing better recently.
Yes, on the upswing. And finally, we have the New York Giants at Washington Redskins.
I think Redskins got this one, but
Yeah.
the Giants have been known to surprise folks
yes,
before.
They have. Yes, they have. The games will start airing early Friday morning and will continue on throughout the day. But that's going to have to do it for us this week. I've got to go brave the commissary to fight for the last few items I need for our feast tomorrow. Thanks for joining us today in the AFN Sports Arena. I'm Jantzee Ellis, and he's...
Air Force Staff Sergeant Tory Cusimano. Dang it, dude.
They're coming at the end.
Oh, my goodness.
Well, have a happy Thanksgiving. Stay safe out there. And don't forget, you have to look good to play good.